NYCFC for $75,000 in General Allocation Money. What went into that process?
NYCFC showed up over my shoulder. I didn't see him right away, and then they offered me a bunch of money, and I took it. We took it. Look, NYCFC, they have a little bit different draft strategy than a lot of teams. You saw them pay six-figure allocation for Jack Harrison last year. They did it again for a high pick this year, and then obviously they were willing to spend on a Wu again at our pick. And so it was not something we discussed ahead of time. It was definitely a surprise to us. We had a number of players up on our board, and below that line we were willing to sell the pick, and so when an opportunity came to sell it, we sold it.
Was there anybody who you were really considering with the 16th pick that you thought you'd get later, or was that just something where you figured there was too much money on the table?
Yeah. I mean, so the way we set up our draft board is we have a number of players, and once we get through a certain number of players and we value the other guys less, then we say, hey, look, we'd rather have money than these players. And we got below our quote-unquote money line. And so, yes, are there players we still want in the draft? Yes, for sure. But we value the $75K more, so we took it.
Why don't we go to your actual draft pick, 22nd, Brian Nonasink, the Stanford defender. What do you make of him as a player, and how do you think he fits into this team?
Well, Jordan Morris likes him, so that's a good place to start. We like drafting champions. This guy's a two-time national champion back-to-back. He's a winner. We've had a lot of success with guys like Nicholas Ladero who have won a lot of things. So we believe in that fundamentally. He's a kid that's got decent size, and he's a position in need. We knew going in we needed younger center backs, and so we got a center back.
Did you see him on your draft board and kind of ask Jordan, I guess, before the draft what he thought about him?
Yeah. I mean, as you can imagine, I mean, there are 72 kids at the combine, and you have weeks to prepare, and so you have conversations about lots of guys that do or do not get on your board. It's part of doing your homework before you get here.
In terms of, you say draft champions, I mean, obviously Chad Marshall, also a Stanford guy. Is there anything about that program in particular that you like about producing players?
Aaron Kovar as well, Stanford alum. I like smart kids. I like smart players. It's easy to teach them. They can learn. And they tend to have really good interviews, and culturally that's a good fit for us. Even when you look at players from our academy, where do we want to send them? I mean, the local program, obviously we have Seattle U and UW is where we send a lot of kids. But we've also sent a number of kids to UW, and there's a U18 kid right now that we like a lot that's headed to Stanford in the fall. So yes, it's a relationship that's very important to us. I think it's a good place for people to become men. I think Stanford does a great job of preparing kids for life. And I think we can hopefully help with the soccer and cultivate that. What you want is good personalities, good character, good fight, guys who have won. If you win back-to-back titles, there's probably something special about the guys in that group.
Were you looking to fill depth at center back in particular, or was it Brian was there and you just felt good to go?
A little bit of both, but for sure we identified center back coming in. Honestly, we felt like after Robinson there's a little bit of a gap. And part of that's just a compliment to Robinson. We thought he was really, really good. And we weren't able to get anywhere close to the top 2-3 picks where we thought he was going to go for those amounts of money. And so as a result, we sat tight and we took the best center back that we had once it came to us at 22.
Were you trying to draft up at any point? I mean, was that part of the conversation?
We had a lot of conversations before the draft. The obvious move is to package 16 and 22 and move up. And again, we had a group of guys below which we weren't willing to sacrifice the picks for. It's one of those where, in particular, once you sell 16, you're hoping you get somebody a position in need at 22. So you have to hold your breath a little bit and have some faith. And but we were fortunate it worked out, and we were able to get a center back. We have one more pick to do, so I can't give away the whole picture at this point, but we had targeted that. We have 3 center backs on our roster right now in Torres, Marshall, and Alfaro, and we know we need to add another one. We have a talented trialist coming in the preseason that we're pretty excited about at that spot too. But hopefully now we have some competition for that spot, and we have some young players competing for that spot, which is what we want.
Tony Alfaro, you guys drafted him last year. Do you see, and maybe it might be looking too far forward, do you see the combination of Tony and Brian now maybe as the future center backs?
It's too early to tell. I mean, we have to bring those guys in, get them in camp, see how they do, see how all 4 of them do. But look, the draft in general, in my opinion, is a good place to find defenders and even to a lesser degree holding midfielders. And center backs are very expensive. So if you look at those positions, And so as a result, if you can pick defenders and you can get one of them to hit or a couple of them to hit every once in a while, then that's a good thing for the club and that's a good value for us.